What's happening, everyone? Nick Gilkins, West Ham Fan TV. Welcome back to another edition of West Ham Fan TV's post-match Pint. Hello, West Ham United post-match for a show on the internet. We've just come back from the London Stadium virtually, where it was West Ham 4, Doncaster 0. Who shall I pick on? Ryan, let's go with you for the starting lineup.
Yeah, well, 7 changes, I think it was, from the West Brom game. Fabianski in goal. Obviously, Randolph not involved today, not on the bench. It must be injured.
It was a late change, I've heard. It was a very late change.
Yeah, so, Fabianski in goal. A complete new back four. Fredericks, Balbuena, Diop and Johnson. Noble and Souček in the middle. Fornals, Lanzini and Benrahma with Yarmolenko up top. Very strong starting lineup, I thought.
Yeah, I thought when I saw that, I mean, I know he'd completely changed the back line, but I think that was a very strong side, especially going forward. The attacking options we had.
Listen, it was what it was, wasn't it? It was a strong lineup. But the thing is, there ain't a lot of choice. We have got some good, support players. Not quite, some of them not quite top level Premier League players, but like games like this. They can get in and they can do your job. There's a couple of players in there that I wanted to see. I wanted to see a bit of Johnson because you never know what might happen at left back. I wanted to see a little bit of Yarmolenko up top, which we did see. Benrahma started, which I was very surprised about. I didn't think he would start, but he did. Obviously, Fornals was in there. Nobes got his go. Rice got rested. Antonio got rested. I think it was a sensible lineup. I think it was an accomplished lineup, and I think it was the right lineup. And I think, I'll be honest with you, I didn't expect it to be that simple. We never got out of second gear, and we brushed them aside with ease.
I think if you look at especially the back four, every single one of them players are all pushing for first team, which is good. So they're getting game time. And even when you look at Fornals, Lanzini, and Benrahma, it's the first time I think them three have started together. And they the way they was all linking up, especially in the first 15, 20 minutes, it was nice. The little 1-2s, the triangles. Souček was bringing them into play. Yarmolenko was doing a lot of running off the ball, which we spoke about on Friday Night Pint last night. We said that, it'd be good for him to start a game to show what he can do up top. And I think he's proven today that, given the chance, if Antonio has to come off at any point, that Yarmolenko can play up top on his own. He's done it for the Ukraine for years, so it's not new to him to play up top.
I don't think he's going to be sort of pushing for a starting lineup play. So I don't think he's got the mobility in him to sort of tear up. He's got that Arnautovic build and that Arnautovic sort of skill, and he can hit the ball. Let's be honest, he can strike a ball. He's got a lovely goal in this game, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But he hasn't quite got that turn of pace, that that little bit of like a boost of And Arnautovic was, if you remember him when he played for us, he was really quick off the mark, and that's obviously St. Yarmolenko isn't. So I don't think he's going to quite be starting, but he's an option. And I said I wanted to see him up front. He's a classy player. He's a very classy player, and he likes to come deep for the ball. He's a bit like Sheringham in a way. That he plays. I mean, sometimes he was coming really deep for the ball to come and get it, then wants to get wingers in, and then he wants to move on. That's something that Haller tried to be, but he never fucking moved from he used to give the ball and then he wouldn't bust his gut to get the box. I liked a bit of Yarmolenko up front, but we started that game off like a rocket. That strike from Fornals, lovely strike.
Yeah, it was great. It was great play down the right from Fredericks, using his pace. He's got into the box, put in a great ball. Fornals has tapped it in, great finish. And that's what we needed in an early goal today. Just to settle whatever nerves we had, it settled it straight away. And for Doncaster, I mean, it was backs against the wall from the 3rd minute, really. They just sat back. Their striker was up top, standing on the halfway line for most of the game. We was comfortable. Very professional performance. And David Moyes, you know, he took a lot of criticism last season for not taking the cup serious when we went out to West Brom. And obviously back then you got to think we had relegation in the back of our head. This season is totally different, you know, and it was a well-worked goal. And it was just what we needed to put us into having a comfortable game.
Yeah, I mean, it's well, no, I'll say the surprise. It surprised me a little to start, not with how we played, but how quickly we scored. Because as I said last night, I thought it was going to be a sort of play out in a similar fashion to the Stockport game, that they were going to sort of sit back, be hard to break down. But as I say, once that early goal went in, they couldn't do that anymore, and it just sort of opened up for us, didn't it?
I've done a couple of previews on. I've done a preview obviously last night with us on Friday Night Pint. I've done a preview with Gio on Amos Chat the other night, and there was a couple of Stockport. There was a couple of Doncaster fans in the chat in the Amos Chat one, and they were saying, like, you know, I was worried about the physicality of these teams. You know, that's where they can beat you if they try and bully you and all that. Sometimes, you know, teams like that have and they said, no, we're not a team like that. We're obviously, I don't watch Doncaster. I haven't watched them for fucking probably. I don't think I've ever watched them, to be quite honest with you.
Unless we played them.
Yeah, unless we've played them. If we've played them before, I've watched them. If we ain't, I've never watched them. But you know, they were saying, nah, we're going to try and play football. And as soon as they said that, I was more comfortable, because I thought to myself, if they try and outplay us at football, we're good at football. You know, with a better football inside. And to be fair, we got after. They just didn't look like they wanted it. They didn't look like they wanted to be there. They was beaten. As soon as that goal went in, they was beaten. They really threatened. I know one of them hit the bar late on, and there was an offside, but really threatened. They just didn't look like they wanted it, and we didn't look like letting them into the game.
It was the pace
of our play. It's a case. Sorry, mate. Go on.
No, go on. Sorry, mate.
No, I was going to say, I don't think it's a case that they didn't want it. I just don't think we allowed them to.
I think it was the pace. I think it was the pace of Ben Rama, Fornals, Lanzini. You know, they was very quick on the ball today. And as soon as they was getting it, they was looking for them quick 1-2s. And look, no disrespect to Doncaster, you know, they're a League One team. They're doing well, but against Premier League players, if Premier League players are on top form and they're going to knock it about, they're just going to be chasing shadows. And most of the game they was, you know, Souček was getting forward more. Noble was just sitting behind him. Them two kept swapping, and when Noble went forward, Souček would sit. You know, it was just, you know, I thought Noble had a really good game today. He done everything right. You know, every time he got that ball, he was giving it to Benrahma, Lanzini, Fornals. You know, quick balls. He was trying to play a couple of long balls over the top, but he done everything right. You know. And I just thought it was a professional, comfortable performance, and we're not really used to seeing that with West Ham down the years. You know,
This is what Moyes is giving it, Ryan. I was saying this last night. You know, I went into the game last night, probably the first FA Cup game like this that I haven't had. Fuck me, we're going to get beat tomorrow in the back of my mind. You know what I mean? Like I was fully confident that we was going to do a professional job. I didn't think it'd be that easy, if I'm really honest with you. And I don't know whether, you know, it's a bit of a balance, whether, you know, Doncaster made it easy or we made it easy for ourselves. But, you know, I didn't think it for ourselves. But I thought it was a comfortable, it was going to be a comfortable win, and it was more comfortable than I think. It was just, you know, there was no time. I don't even think we got out of third gear.
I'll be honest, I said it when the draw was done. I said, with the size of the pitch at the London Stadium, if we put out a decent team, the form we're in, I thought it was going to be a comfortable victory today. I said it last night on Friday Night Pint as well. I had no worries about today, you know. And that's not that. Look, I'm not being disrespectful to Doncaster here, but at the end of the day, the form we're in, you know, we've got the better players, so we should be beating teams like Doncaster. I wasn't worried about having a slip up today, and that's the first time that we've drew a team lower league that I've not worried, really, if I'm honest.
I thought Benrahma today he was pulling the strings, wasn't he? I thought he was excellent today.
Desperate for a goal, isn't he? Desperate for a goal.
Yeah, I think the thing is, it'll come. He'll get there.
Yeah, he'll keep working hard. It's another 90 minutes under his belt. Obviously, Declan Rice didn't need him today. Antonio didn't need him. They're rested up now. It's good to get them rest time with what we've got coming up on Tuesday against Crystal Palace. But yeah, I mean, the second goal, great through ball from Ben Rama. And then Yarmolenko, he was there, little dink over the goalkeeper. See you later, 2-0.
I think that's what he brings, Yarmolenko. He can finish. He knows where the goal is. He knows where the back of the net is. And I think that's what he brings to the side. I think he's a clever player. He ain't got the pace.
Lovely bit of finesse on the finish, wasn't it? That's like you say, that's what he brings. A little bit of finesse. Yeah,
it was sort of like too comfortable at times. I was sitting there fucking thinking, come on, I want a little bit of action here, because we just coasted. Some of the football was nice. It looks like they've been working on their passing and their moving. Some nice fluid football at times. We were saying at the time, like, maybe it was too comfortable. If they'd have got the next goal, I think it would have livened up a bit. But once that own goal went in, which I think was fucking shocking from the defender, to be quite honest with you.
Well, that goal, when Noble took the corner, you could hear him shouting to Issa, like, and Diop's obviously made that run front post, flicked it on, and the defender can't really do much, can he? Was it Hogan, I think, or what was his name, Butler, or I can't remember his name now.
Butler.
Yeah, Butler. He's I love you, Butler. Yeah, no, he's it's gone in off him, and that was it, game over then. And so, I was thinking to myself, right, now's the time, early goal, second half, maybe we should look to take Souček off, but then I thought, this is West Ham, let's leave it another 10 minutes, because you never know. We've seen it down the years that we look comfortable and then all of a sudden we throw games away. But nah, it was game over when that third goal went in.
Yeah. I mean, they were completely deflated after that, weren't they?
Yeah.
No, it was done and dusted. And what happened then is what I think we should have done. He took Souček off. He changed the shape a little bit. He shuffled it about a little bit. He wasn't trying to bring Rice on for Souček. He wasn't sort of being one-dimensional. We bought now, do forgive me because I keep on mispronouncing his name, but
Afolayan.
Afolayan, is it?
Yeah, Afolayan.
Right. Now, I've never heard of this kid before. I've heard his name, but I've never obviously seen him play. I didn't even know where he played. I thought it was going to be a like-for-like swap.
Well, I'll tell you how mad his last 24 hours is, mate. He played for the under-23s last night.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He played for the under-23s last night.
But he comes on. I'll tell you what. That's a lovely poacher's finish, that. You got to be there.
Yeah.
That's a moment that whatever happens in his career now, he'll never forget that moment. It's a shame that there wasn't crowds there, but he'll never forget that moment. As you said, right place, right time. What a finish! And I'm so pleased for the kid. I'm pleased for all the youngsters today. And you know one thing as well, I'm so pleased that David Moyes brought Trot on to give him his senior debut, because you don't see that usually, do you? Goalkeepers getting subbed on, but the game was over 4-0, and he brought him on, and he brought Baptiste on as well at right back. What a moment. You got Johnson on the pitch as well. It was good to finish that game with some of our academy on that pitch.
Well, I started to think Trot was a bit of a hoax as a goalkeeper. I've seen him. I mean, he's only a young kid, but I've seen him away at so many games. We've sat there in away dugouts for years now, watching him warm up and warm the other keepers up. He's never quite makes the bench, apart from if it's fucking desperate times. So to see him actually pull on a kit, and I started to think he weren't a professional footballer, but the kid, it's nice to give him, like, it just gives him that little bit of taste of it. You know what I mean? Like, come on, lad. Fabianski's in his final years. This could be you. Go and have a go. Go and show the boys what you can do.
Do you know what I loved about it though? When Fabianski come off, like, the smile on his face, he looked really like genuinely chuffed.
Yeah, but that's professional, because you got to think that Fabianski works with Trot every day, doesn't he? He knows how hard it is, because with a goalkeeper, there's only one position, and you've got three goalkeepers trying to fill that one position. So it's tough for these young kids, and sometimes these kids have to go out on loan or move and go down the leagues just to play first team football. And no, I'm pleased. I'm really happy David Moyes done that. It would have been different if it had been 2-0 or 1-0 or something. It probably wouldn't have happened. But no, it was nice to see Trot come on, and yeah, Afolayan, you know, first goal. Baptiste come on at right back. He didn't do nothing wrong. He had a couple of touches.
Oh, I thought he looked tidy. What he had to do, he did.
Yeah.
He did well. He did, you know.
Yeah. Trott didn't really have much to do either. They had that chance right at the end where he smashed it over, but Trott looked comfortable. Yeah, no, it was just a great performance.
Yeah, very professional.
Now let's talk about the next round. It's not very often you can finish a FA Cup game and then know who you're going to next week. Now, listen, I fancy us. Any one of them.
Yeah, we're obviously we're away, in we in the next. We either play United or Liverpool.
A bit more difficult.
Yeah, the thing is, look, you won't the team that started today, you won't see that in the next round. You'll see the likes of, obviously barring injuries and they're available, you'll see the likes of Rice, Antonio, Soufal, you know, because we're going to need them, because United and Liverpool are going to put out strong teams, especially United. I think if I was to pick now, who would I rather play on the current run of form? I'd probably rather play Liverpool, if I'm honest.
Got so many injuries.
Yeah, I'd rather play Liverpool just because of their back four. As you say, they've got so many injuries. With United, I always think United always get a bit lucky against us. It proved it in the league game, you know. So but you know, if we get through that round, you know, then look, Arsenal went out today. They're the holders. You know, teams are starting to go out now. You never know. I don't want to say it, but you know, it could be our year. You know,
I honestly don't. This is the good thing. Like I tweeted this out the other day. I don't fear anyone. There's no team out there now I fear. If you know, there's going to be teams that beat us. There was teams that beat us fucking badly in that last season at the Boleyn, like Swansea and Stoke, you know, and things like that. But I go into every game now thinking we're at least going to you know, give a good account of ourselves.
We'll make it hard. We'll make it
difficult for teams. I'm looking at the league. The league is so finely balanced. Like, and I'm talking about, you know, we're still in it, which is fucking ridiculous halfway through the season. You know what I mean? Like, you wouldn't think, but you know, you got the likes of Leicester. They've lost Jamie Vardy for a little while. Man City ain't the Man City that they was a couple of years ago. Liverpool have got so many injuries, it's really affected them. Man United are looking at the top of the league. And let's be fair, Man United have been fucking lucky to get to the top of that league. Some of their performances have been, but that's the sign of a good team, is when you can have bad performances and still win games. But I'm just saying, like, they not get a lot of fucking assistance from the electronic referees these days. But I'm just saying, like, they'll be looking at that league and they'll be looking at that cup game and they'll be thinking, this is probably the best chance we've had for a long time to win this league. You know, we're at the top of it. That's if it's like that come then. You know, I mean, how long's the next round? I think it's the end of Feb, isn't it? Or middle of Feb?
Yeah, it'd be middle for second week of February, I think it is.
Second week of February, yeah, so middle of February. So yeah, but you know, by the time they get there, they could be, you know, the league could be so finely balanced that they think, you know what, let's just fucking concentrate on this league because that's the most important thing. Man United especially, because they'll be thinking like, we ain't won this in a while now.
Yeah, well, I mean, the thing is as well, Liverpool at the moment, on current form, you know, they could drop out the top four in the next couple of games.
Yeah, but the thing is with these, especially Liverpool, you know, we can talk about them being poor at the back at the moment, but their forward line is still world class
quality. Yeah,
so we have to be on our game, because he, honestly, you know, it's my fucking telly's just gone mental. What's going on there? Fuck knows what's going on there. I think my telly's just broke. But yeah, no, look, we shouldn't fear anyone. We shouldn't fear anyone.
No, I don't think we won't. And if we get through that, I mean, you know, I was saying to Dom earlier, you want to, you know, we want to have good ambitions to win a cup, and that cup is, you know, it's as good as any for us. You know what I mean? Like any cup, but the FA Cup especially. So to get to the fifth round, you're going to be playing a tough team, but to be the best, you've got to beat one of them at some point. You know what I mean? So
to win a cup, you're going to have to beat a Liverpool, or Man U, or an Arsenal. You know, at some point in the competition.
Yeah, let's have them now.
I'd say
I'd rather have them now than the fucking semi-final and then get disappointed that way. You know what I mean? Like, let's have them now and see what we can do. We get through it. It's a one-off game. There ain't even replays in this season. You know what I mean? There ain't even replays in these cup games. It's extra time, straight to penalties if you don't. You know, one-off games, mate. It can be anything. I don't know why. I just fancy us. I know that's probably going to come back and haunt me, but you know, I think my optimism is quite.
I think with the way the season's going, I think when you look at a West Ham team under Moyes, especially this season, take away the Newcastle game at the beginning of the season, every game since then, we don't give up. You know, even when we go 1-0 down in games, we still seem to get back into the games. And we've never looked out of a game. You could probably say the Chelsea game when they got 2 late goals. But even in that game, that was never a 3-0 game, if you look at it on overall. But, you know, we're taking it game by game. You know, we've got through, you know, Stockport was difficult because of the conditions. You know, if we'd have played Stockport at the London Stadium, we probably would have beat them 3 or 4-0. You know, we've done a professional job today. We're through to the 5th round. We've got either United or Liverpool, and now we can concentrate on Tuesday night. We've got Crystal Palace. We win that game, we're up to 4th in the Premier League. You know, as I said last night, go back to that when we lost to Newcastle. I don't think anyone would have seen this coming. The season we're having. It's just a mental season, and who knows where we can go. The sky's the limit for West Ham at the moment.
Yeah, no.
Now the striker situation still concerns me. We are now just under 8 days, 9 days away from the transfer window shutting, and we still haven't got a centre forward in, which concerns me. I just spoke to a French league, a French hammer, sorry, who keeps a good eye on the French league, and he reckons like Dia, he won't play it in the Premier League, and that means like obviously I'm going to trust his opinion more than anyone else's. What should we be looking for here? What should we be looking at?
Well, we need someone to come in and try to challenge Antonio to play up front. I don't know. Look, I'm not expecting us to go out and spend 30-40 million on a striker. You know, if we was to bring one in on loan for the rest of the season with the squad we've got, it is what it is. You know, you don't want to bring in you don't want to go and spend £30 million on a striker and then he has to play week in, week out. You know what David Sullivan's like with his deals. They have to play, and then you upset Antonio, who won't play up front, and he'll get pushed out on the wing. So, you know, I'll be honest, some of these players we've been linked with, I haven't really seen much of them. You know, I'll be honest. You look at their highlights on YouTube and things like that. The Dia, for me, with his pace, looks the exciting one, if I'm honest. If we could get a deal with, not Dia, Backup. He's the one that sort of, I think, he looks like he could settle into the Premier League. But you don't know, do you? We've proved it before. We went to spend 40-odd million on Haller and he didn't work out. But then you go and get a Dawson and he does work out. You know, so you don't know. It's a tough one. But I still think I'm still confident we'll bring at least one striker in before the transfer deadline day.
I just hope so. Because it'd be our luck, wouldn't it? We get to the, say for instance, we get through the next round and you get to like the semi-final or something, like, but with a piece of luck, and then all of a sudden we've got fucking some sort of injury crisis up front. It'd just be our luck, and I just don't want to get to that point. You know, I want to get, you know, we've got a real chance. We've got the good basis for a really good season here with, you know, getting this far in the cup. Obviously, you know, doing really well in the league. We've got a good basis to make some European football. You know, to maybe, you know, perhaps dream, you know, at least dream of winning a cup. And I just don't, you know, if I think like if they fuck us this time, them two owners, like they've taken money in, like people ain't stupid, and I think sometimes they get a little bit, what's the word? They're getting a little bit confident and cocky because, you know, they're not having to face a raft of fans every week. And I think they're getting a little bit too comfortable. They haven't seen anyone for a year now, you know. But what I'm saying is, if they try to fuck us this time, then I think there'll be people at the gates next time, stopping them from going in and you know, literally doing like what they've done at the fucking White House, because, you know, it's not on, is it? Because you know, we've made this move.
We're in.
Yeah, the position we're in, we've made this move. We put a lot of faith into them, and they've just, you know, consistently stabbed us in the back. If they stab us in the back this time, we've seen that they've sold a striker. They've got the money for a striker. They've sold a winger. They've got the money for a winger. They've got all of that money. Well, the 5 million for what's the geezer that went to Celtic and all of that. They've got money there. They can't use COVID as an excuse because, you know, nobody else is. You know, if they fuck us now, I think it might be fucking curtains for them.
Yeah,
it shows a lack of ambition if they don't go, as like you say, 5th round of the cup, pushing up the table. If they don't go and get a strike, shows lack of ambition, really, doesn't it?
Yeah, the thing is that if you look at the position we're in now, and we've just gone through to the FA 5th round of the FA Cup, you know, they'd be stupid now to not back David Moyes. You know, David Moyes might say, yeah, do you know what, he's happy with what he's got, but he might have to say that. But I still think that we will bring someone in. It might not be as I said, the big money names signing that everyone wants, you know, but as long as we get someone in, you know, just to
people will always talk about the money. I don't. If it's a £500,000 signing and he gets the goals and plays the way we want, I don't give a shit. As long as it's somebody there that can do a job and you know it fits our system. If you've got to spend £40 million on him, so be it. They've got the money there. They've sold Diangana for 20. They've sold Haller for 20. They've sold a fucking load of other players. Like, you know, who did they sell? I can't remember now, but they sold a load of like 3 million, 5 million here, 3 million here, 8 million here, and all of this sort of thing. They've got loads of money sitting there. They can't even use it as an excuse. Like, you know, as long as they fucking see someone that fits the bill, then go and get him.
Let's just see what happens over the next week or two. You know, as I said, hopefully we get someone in. We've got a massive game on Tuesday night now, so that's mainly what I'm concentrating on now. It's a big game against Crystal Palace. We usually do quite well at Selhurst Park. I know we didn't do well there last season, but do you know what? I'm confident going into that game, and you know, David Moyes' team talk. You know, he doesn't really have to do one before the game. He says, you win this, boys, you're in the Champions League spots. You're up to 4th. You know, I know there's people out there that are going to think, oh, look at West Ham getting excited and all that. But so fucking what? So what? Why shouldn't we? Why should we always be that club that has to be down the bottom, you know, every season? Why can't we enjoy these moments? You know, some of these fans that come on and rival fans like Arsenal fans and all that, because they've been so used to top 4 and Champions League, you know, I'm not saying we're going to get Champions League. I'm not saying we're going to get top 4, but let's enjoy it while we're up there, because it gives our players
fucking go, and you never know what might happen.
Yeah, it gives our players the confidence every game they go into. So long may it continue.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Anything else?
No, I think that's it, mate. I think it's the FA Cup post-match pint. I think we've covered the game. We're happy. We're through to the 5th round, and looking forward to when do Liverpool and United play? Is it tomorrow or Monday?
Tomorrow. Yeah.
So,
I'll be watching that with a breath, mate.
Yeah, be watching that. Yeah. Come on, you irons.
Thank you very much for joining us on this edition of West Ham Fan TV's post-match pint. We'll be back again on Tuesday, of course, for Crystal Palace. A chance to go, as Ryan said, 4th in the Premier League, which is unprecedented at this time of the season. Nice, comfortable win today. You can check out our Patreon in the link in the description down below if you want to support us that way. You can also check out the link to the merchandise. We're still waiting to give away the Ogbonna t-shirts. He's got to score, and then we're going to give away a hoodie and a t-shirt. So don't forget to join us this week for the watch along, which I do believe Dan Lawless is back. And I must say a few words on this. I know a lot of people have been asking me what's happened to him. A lot of people have been asking me, like, where's he gone? They know he's got a little bit of. He released it on Twitter. He had 4 sort of family losses in 3 days, which, you know, it's obviously devastating. For him, and we've been in constant contact. We're always thinking about him and his family and all that. You know, Dan come along 5-6 years ago. He's like a brother to us now. You know, we think about him as one of the crew, like one of the original crew. So, like, you know, we sending him and his family all the love in the world. And Scott as well. You know, Scott's had a little bit of bad news over the last couple of days. We send him all the love in the world. But yeah, you know, sometimes there's a little bit more, to football than football when it comes to things like that. And there's things that are more important. But all the best, boys. You know, no rush, but we're waiting to see you back. We'll be glad to have you back. But yeah, anyone want to say anything else?
No, I just echo everything you said there. Yeah, you know, obviously they need a bit of time. You know, as much as we love doing this, some things are more important than football and YouTube and that. You know, family comes first. So as long as they need to take as long as they need, and yeah, we're all thinking of them.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much for joining us on the We'll be back Tuesday. One thing left to say, lads.
Come on, you irons.
Come on, you irons.